Hi, I'm Isaac and you're watching Isaac's Bushcraft and Survival. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a small survival kit that you should carry with you on any of your adventures or even in your vehicle in case you get stranded. As you can see, I have all the items and tools that we need to make this in front of me, so let's get started. So the first thing we're going to need for our survival kit is an Altoids mint container. What I like about these is there's a lot of different colors you could choose. There's red, there's possibly green, whatever color you like best you can use. We're gonna take this, leave it open here. I'm gonna get some duct tape and I'm gonna cut a piece approximately the size that can fit inside the lid. And you're probably wondering why we're doing this. Well, for a couple reasons. We're gonna be doing this for a couple reasons. For one, it's an amazing fire starter. I'll show you, I have a piece here and I'm gonna light it. As you can see, it's burning pretty well. It's an amazing fire starter for decent, it works great. It's good for pretty much a lot of conditions, wet conditions it'll work for. It's not the longest burning thing, but it's not the longest burning fire starter, but as you can tell, it burns hot. It burns great. This will work for getting a fire going just in general weather or in more wet weather, which is why we're putting in our survival kit. That's one reason. The other reason is it works great if you do somehow get a cut or a gash. You can use it to help strap it closed. It works good to strap your, a cut closed or something like that. Otherwise, it works great for that because I've heard from professionals and from doctors you shouldn't use a needle because if you don't use a sterile needle, if you use just a needle like this, a sewing needle, you'd get an infection or it'll cause more tissue damage versus if you have the duct tape and you seal your cut with it. So that's another great use for the duct tape, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut a piece here, again, about the same size, maybe a little bit bigger, just the right size to fit in there. What we're gonna do is we're gonna attach a razor blade to it, and we're gonna attach a few fishing hooks to it. You can add as many fishing hooks as you want. You could fill up the whole thing with fishing hooks. You could add another razor blade. It just all depends. But for now, I'm just doing 3 fishing hooks. It works great. Yeah, you're probably wondering why we're using the razor blade. The reason why we're doing that is because with the razor blade, it works good for if you need to gut a fish or just cut your fishing line or a lot of other purposes you can use a razor blade for. It works good for. Right now we're gonna take a needle and we're gonna magnetize it. So we're gonna use kitchen magnet or neodymium magnet or some sort of magnet to magnetize it. You're probably wondering why we're doing this. Well, for one reason, we're using it as a makeshift compass. So what we'll do is we'll take this needle and we'll put it on a leaf, and we can put that leaf in a puddle of water or a lake or something like that. And what will happen is the magnetism will attract it to the North and South Pole, so it'll point to the North Pole because of the magnetism. So we kind of have a makeshift compass in our kit because the normal compass won't fit very well, so that's why we're doing that. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take it and we're gonna place it with the razor blade in the corner. I just find that to work the best. You could have it in any corner, it doesn't matter, but the reason why we're doing that is because then we can just take it, lift it up, and there's your razor blade, your fishing hooks, and your needle or compass. So then we're gonna push it back down, and it works great for that. Now what we're gonna put in also is a couple of Band-Aids. Now these are a couple of large Band-Aids. You don't have to go as big, but for wounds, I think bigger is a little bit better because that way, if you do have a cut or something, it's better to have bigger than to not have the right size. Another thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take a piece of straw from, a drinking straw from like a Culver's or something like that. We're gonna snip the end off And then what we'll do is we're gonna take a multi-tool and we're gonna crimp one of these ends. We're gonna use our lighter. We're just gonna crimp the end here, and that'll seal it. We're gonna let it cool for a minute here. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this off. It's crimped and sealed. We're gonna take it and we're gonna pump it full of Neosporin. And we'll have a little bit of extra, that's okay. Just put that in the tip of the tube here. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna clamp it, and then we're gonna take this a little extra squeezes out, that's not a problem. You can take that, put it in the tip of the tube again, and we're gonna move it up just a little bit. There we go. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our lighter and we're gonna crimp it and we're gonna seal it. That way, we have our own little packet of Neosporin. So once that cools, I'll let it open, and yeah, we have our little packet of Neosporin. And then what we can do is we can just cut that open with a razor blade that we have and put that on our Band-Aid. Another thing we're gonna need is some sort of fire starter. This one I made in a previous video, so if you wanna check that out, go and check out the previous video. But it's a great fire starter. You can get probably 3 or 4 fires going with it, depending on how much you use. It's wonderful for snowy weather, rainy weather, windy weather. It works amazing. It's one that I advise doing. It's very simple to make, and it seals up and is waterproof. So you just put that in there. I'd save this one specifically for just extreme weather. So if you have like really bad snow, rain, wind, I'd save it for that, because that's where it thrives at and it works at. It works amazing for that. And we'll have a few other fire starters here that we're gonna include in the kit that you can use just for general weather conditions or just normal survival. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a lighter. We're just gonna wrap some duct tape around it, because duct tape works amazing as an extra bit of fire starter, as I showed you. We're just gonna take some, wrap it on it, and cut the extra off. And there, we have some extra fire starter. And that'll go in our kit. And the next thing I'm gonna add is a spool of fishing line. What's great about this is we can take this and we take our line and wrap it around our tube, and then we can make a little bundle. And then what I do is take some duct tape and strap it close. So we'll just put that in there, find a spot for it. Then what we're gonna do, the next thing I'm gonna add are, sorry, I'm trying to get in here. It sometimes gets to be a little bit annoying. There we go. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna add are some Strike Anywhere matches. These I got at Ace Hardware. Strike Anywhere matches are the best. They're better than safety matches because you can strike them on almost any surface. Like right here, I literally just have a rock and, oops, I just broke it. We literally just have a rock. Takes a couple strikes, but you get a fire going. You can use these, you can literally strike them on a rock. You could strike it on a piece of wood. You can strike it on a lot of different surfaces, which is great. Because of the phosphorus on the end of it, causes it to ignite. These are amazing, but we can make them one step better by coating the tips with wax. Because coating them with wax makes them completely waterproof. Versus the lighter, if I dip the lighter in water, it will not strike, it will not spark. It takes ages to get it dry again. Versus these, where once I dip them in wax, I'll show you, but the water won't affect them at all. So I'll show you here with that. I have a candle lit off to the side. I'm just gonna blow that out. Get rid of some of the smoke here. But as you can see, I have the candle here. I'm gonna take some of my Strike Anywhere matches. I'm not sure how many I'm gonna do. Probably, I think about 9 ought to do, or 9 should work. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take them and just dip them in the wax. I'm gonna take my rock and I'm gonna set them aside, let them cool. we're just gonna continue to dip them. They work amazing. One tip I do have to give you is before using them, just make sure that you scrape off the wax or you rub them back and forth a little to remove some of the wax. Otherwise, you have to strike them on a hard, coarse surface. Otherwise, the wax will kind of keep it from striking properly. But I'll show you how they work. They work very, very good. We're just gonna finish coating these last two here. And there, they're all coated with wax. As you can see, I'm gonna let them cool just a little bit. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wrap a little strip of duct tape around the center of them. Right now, I'm just gonna cut some. What we're gonna do is we're gonna cut it down the middle. And that way we have a piece that we can wrap around our matches to keep them in a bundle. And extra fire starter, again. So, that's what works great. These look like they should be cool enough. I'm gonna show you how to use one of these. I'm just gonna take a little cup of water here. I'm gonna dip it in, soak it in for a moment or two. Shake off the extra water. And then I'm gonna take this rock here. I'm gonna scrape off a little bit of the extra wax here just to get rid of it, break it off. And then we're gonna ignite it. Now the wax actually helps it burn a little bit longer because it acts as kind of a fuel. So as you can see, it burns a little bit longer, a little bit hotter because the wax acts kind of like a candle as a fuel. But these are excellent because they're completely waterproof. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take these, put them in a bundle. And like I said, these are in ways better than the lighter. In ways, they're not better than the lighter. That's why you have multiple fire starters, because some are better, some are not. These work better than the lighter in wet conditions sometimes, because they're waterproof. Take some duct tape and try to get these in a bundle. It gets difficult because they don't want to stick in a bundle very well sometimes. It just varies. Sometimes they like to be a pain in the butt. And you have to re-wrap them, which stinks. Come on, get in there. It likes to get hard to get into a bundle. Once you get them in a bundle, it works amazing. Okay, we got in a bundle, wrapped it up tight, extra duct tape. We're gonna put them in. And that's about it for our kit. So just something to think about with these is a lot of times when you try to close it, it likes to bounce open, as you can see. That's not a problem. I usually just take a piece of duct tape to go over it. And you should do this anyway, because when it's in your car, like I'd advise putting these in your glove compartment, your center console, something like that, or even in your backpack. But with the vibrations from the car, it could vibrate open really easily if you don't have duct tape, and it'll spill all the stuff all over. So it's great to just put a little bit of duct tape on it just to keep it closed for sure, even if it doesn't like to bounce open. Plus it's extra fire starter, so. But no, that's how you make a survival kit. I hope you learned something with this. I'll just go over the contents I have in here quick. We have our fire starter for severe weather. We've got our lighter with extra duct tape for fire starter. We've got our Strike Anywhere matches with more duct tape. We have our Neosporin, our Band-Aids, some fishing line. In here we have our fishing hook, our razor blade, and our sewing needle that's magnetized for a compass. And I'm just gonna put this stuff back in here. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you enjoy this type of content, please consider subscribing and giving a like. And as you can see, like I said, it's a great survival kit. I keep it with you basically wherever you go. Like I said, it works good to just tape it shut because you should do that anyway. But I hope you like this video. If you like this type of content, please consider checking out the rest of my channel. I hope you liked the video, and please consider subscribing, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.